It's puck time. I'm the Prez, Lawrence Presman, co-founder of Wager Talk Media, and excited to be back from my trip. 4 days of skiing in Zermatt, 7 days of sun and fun in Jamaica, man. And now it's time to talk hockey, and I'm excited. Alex and Andrew are with us. Let's bring them in. Hey, brothers. What's going on, Andrew? How has your holidays been?
Yeah, it's been a great holiday. Prez, family and friends, and as I get older, it's different things you do. You look forward to different things, and a lot of friends and family I'm seeing that I don't really get to see too often. So that was a lot of fun. I just came from a brunch that was amazing, just everything you can think of. So I'm a little full right now, ready to talk some hockey. And I also, while you were away, Prez, I went to Vegas and I got to see everybody, and didn't really get to tell you much about that so far, but had an absolute blast, and it was kind of a great holiday environment when I was there as well. So it was great to meet all the crew, and yeah, I'm happy to hear you had a great time on your vacation as well and in Jamaica. I was there a few years ago and had an outstanding time.
Yeah, it was really amazing, but you know what? I'm really glad to be back. It was a super long trip, to say the least. I mean, 2 weeks at this time of year. I was anxious to get back and do puck time with you boys. What's up, Alex? How are you?
Not much, doing all right. I'm here in Chicago still. I'll be leaving out tomorrow morning. I've been here for about 10 days or so and enjoying some actually unseasonably warm weather. We had the second warmest Christmas in city history, 55 degrees. So I didn't get to go anywhere tropical like you did, but really happy that it's not super freezing cold here. So it's been
Excellent,
nice.
Boys. Well, I've been following hockey along the way. We've had a small little Christmas break, but a big card today. 12 games. We're going to take apart 4 in depth, and then we're going to look at the rest of the card in the last minute of play. Boys, I got some promotions for everybody. Andrew, I don't know if you know this, but America does not have Boxing Day. Yeah, I didn't.
Really?
I didn't know that either. But you and I are Canadian.
Okay.
So I put together a Boxing Week special. This offer is massive. It's about as big as it's going to get. It's available until Monday. $180 off of the regular price of Andrew or Alex full month of bets. That's all sports, all bets every day for 30 straight days. The regular price, $349. It's yours for $169. Use the promo code Andrew169 or Alex169, and guys, feel free to tweet it out. It's active until Monday.
And with that deal as well, for everybody out there watching, I want to make a little shout out. I'm doing World Hockey. I've done it over the past couple of years. It's included with all my NHL clients. I'm kind of sending it out under the NHL column. However, obviously, it's not NHL action. Cashed a winner with it earlier this morning. And one thing that's great about the World Hockey is that you're betting point spreads with hockey. I mean, I cashed a +3.5 ticket today with Kazakhstan. So it's, this is the biggest time, and I don't always use this phrase, but with World Hockey, you're literally betting numbers, not teams. And, I really follow it very closely. So if you get a package from me, you're also getting World Junior Hockey Championship.
Excellent point, dude, and way to go on cashing today. I don't know how you have the time to study Kazakhstan's hockey program, but impressive nevertheless. I know you guys can't see me, but I got new cans, new headphones. I got the top of the line Sony noise canceling headphones. Excited to be wearing them. I hope the sound on YouTube is as good as the sound in my ears, because I got a great bass going. Loving my new headphones. Guys, let's get straight to it. Boston on the road playing Buffalo. Boston's -150, give or take, tonight. The over and under here is 5.5. Boston just won their last game, a big one, beating Washington 7-3, but they did lose 3 before that and really have quite hit the skids, boys. They've lost 8 of 10 games. Buffalo has lost 4 of their last 5 games. Andrew, I'll go to you first. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I think if there was a team that needed a break, it was probably the Bruins, but they did a great job of ending it on that note. And Washington has actually owned the Bruins in recent history, and to a really, really large scale, actually. So it was great for the Boston Bruins to come out there and end their, first half of the season or first part of the season on a great note. And, it wasn't just a 4-3 win. I look at that and see that 7-3 win as, they really wanted to head into that little short break on a good note. And, you're going to hear me say this stuff a lot about, these games, but I'm expecting a lot of sloppiness. And sloppiness to me means over the total. And you can get a 5.5 out there still from different spots. And I would look at over the total in this one. I mean, I do like the Bruins. The Buffalo Sabres pretty much did the exact same thing they've done over the past few years, where they started the season, they had a few guys looking great, but now guys, they're so banged up, and it's really starting to show with them. It just seems like they can't get the depth. I mean, they can't get their secondary scoring. We all know what's happening over there in Edmonton with their secondary scoring, and it's almost starting to be the same thing with Buffalo. When Jack Eichel isn't hot, the team isn't hot. But I would look at Boston here, but definitely take a shot at the 5.5 here.
Andrew, my initial reaction was to go over 5.5 in this game as well. The problem I'm really having is in what you were talking about. Buffalo's secondary scoring has gone to hell. This team scored 5 goals in the last 3 games, and against bad competition. I mean, no excuse putting up 1 goal against Ottawa, 1 goal against Philadelphia. I like Boston here. I'm getting them at I know it's minus 150, but I'll take them in regulation at a super short price. I think you have a really great team full of veterans, probably the best front line in the league. And, my attitude is this team is coming off such a terrible run. I think they're a bye team right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go on a big run, winning 6, 7 of 8. So Boston in regulation for me. Alex?
Yeah, if I were to pick a side, I would take Boston in regulation as well. But when you look at the recent history, it seems like Boston pretty much took their Christmas break for most of December, and they were able to kind of get back on the winning ways, like I said, to end that going into the 3 win. But you look at this Buffalo team. He said they're giving up goals in bunches. They aren't scoring as much. This is a Boston team that's been giving up 3 or more goals in 9 of the last 10 games. So the defense hasn't been sturdy for Boston. Zdeno Chara is questionable. He's got a jaw injury. They've already been missing Torrey Krug for a while. So having those key guys missing from that blue line, maybe Buffalo can at least get a couple of goals here. We know Boston can score at will at times. So 5.5 looks like the better.
He's Alex B. Smith from SportsMemo.com. Andrew McInnis from SportsMemo.com. You guys can have $180 off of their month package. This is a huge Boxing Week special. It's gone on Monday. Head over to SportsMemo.com. Use the promo code Andrew169 or Alex169. Guys, the Toronto Maple Leafs absolutely rolling right now. They've won 5 in a row. They've looked sensational under their new coach, Sheldon Keefe. And they're putting up a lot of points. 8-6 against Carolina. What a hockey game. My God, they were down by 2 with 10 or so to go. They won by 2. Everything about that team is full cylinder, except maybe their defense. But hey, it's regular season time, so I'd rather see offensive games, and we'll worry about their defense a little later. They're playing New Jersey. Why not? It's more fun.
Yeah, no. That was very smooth. The way you just kind of skipped over that.
Well, hey, listen, dude. The Leafs are looking good.
It's like they scored 8 goals, but they allowed 6. But we'll worry about that later on. They scored 8 goals.
Did they win? Did they win their last 5? They're playing New Jersey tonight. New Jersey just put up 7 against Chicago. They've won 3 of their last 5 games. Guys, to me, this seems obvious, but over the total of 6, Toronto's minus 192. I don't want to step in the way of their streak, but I don't know if it's a great spot for them. It's too big a number. I like over the total of 6. I'd be very surprised if there's not 7, 8, 9 goals scored in this game. Alex, I'll go to you first.
Everybody's got to be very careful what they saw on Tuesday night, because there's a lot of screw-it defense, a lot of half-ass defensive effort Blackhawks being one of them. That's why New Jersey was able to score 7 goals in that contest. So these overs just continue to trend right out of the gate. I think some of these teams, with them getting the 2-3 days of rest, will more than likely be able to kind of shore things up defensively. But I worry about Toronto. We know they can get 6-7 goals of their own, so that's the only reason why I wouldn't be taking this thing under. Maybe look at the team total with the Leafs over. But I don't expect New Jersey to come out here and score 3 or 4 goals, even with Toronto having.
Andrew, where are you at?
Yeah, I think in a game like this, it's probably a good look to look at the team total. However, on a 3-game scale, the Devils have looked to go over the total themselves. But I think for the Devils, guys, we're going to be talking about this a lot. I'm stressing it, but for them personally, the break is great for them. They needed it. They needed to regroup. I'll be the first person to admit that I was wrong about this team. Sometimes getting the right pieces together and good players does not always mean chemistry. And we found that out with the Devils. I mean, Taylor Hall's now gone, and the team's going to be shaken up. PK Subban might be on the trading block. So we don't really know what this team is going to be doing, but I'll tell you one thing. They're still going to be going out there, and they've got some, their top 4, top 6 guys can still score. They still have talent. Mackenzie Blackwood's in nets tonight, and you got to wonder, he's really the only decent goalie in this whole organization right now. We're seeing the 6 here. I can't look under the total. I have to go over with this Leafs team, but I wouldn't argue with a Leafs team total either. But at the same time, guys, the reason why I'm torn with this game, and this is why I'm passing with my clients on this one, is that the Leafs at some point have to work on defense. All jokes aside towards me and Prez, you think that maybe this will be a game where the Leafs want to buckle down on defense and try and win a low-scoring affair, but then again, they might just raise the score up on the Devils. So for that reason, I'll just look at the team total for the Leafs. But if Devils get 1 or 2 goals, I can count for themselves.
Andrew.
Also, congratulations to PK Subban and Lindsey Vonn for getting engaged.
Could care less.
Oh, really?
So they can go and get married and take a chariot into the sunset. Andrew, I'll tell you really quick. I mean, the bottom line with the Leafs defense right now is this team is transitioning into a new style of play. And the style of play that we're seeing from the Leafs, I feel it's almost revolutionary in a way. I think we see Butch Cassidy and Boston do it to some degree, but this team is playing with a 5-man attacking unit. And it's almost like, when you say I play, right defense. Well, in the Leafs setup, I don't even know if I'd use the term defense or forward. I play back left. I play back right. I play front right. I play front left because they're interchanging. The defense are sinking low into the slot, really closing the box down low. The defense is also rushing into the play. The wingers are covering in their position. They're playing a sort of Brazilian-style triangle, like a soccer-style triangle. All 5 are attacking at the same time. It is one of the most exciting forms of hockey I've ever seen in my life, and it's going to take a while for them to figure that out on defense because obviously they want to attack on defense too. So in all 3 facets of the game, the neutral zone, the defense, and offense, the team's playing as a 5-man unit. It is...
And it stems from Sheldon Keefe too, Prez, because Babs was not easy to play for. All the stories coming out about him, and in the players' defense, I mean, I don't think they really wanted to play under his style, and they never really tried. It seems like they wanted to play their way. So Sheldon came in and said, "Look, I know how you want to play, so let's go ahead and do it the proper way." If they can cut down on get cut down on their goals against Prez, they're going to be hard to stop. If they can actually continue this goal production heading into the playoffs or heading into the later half of the year, it's going to be unbelievable because they do have the talent, they do have the top guns, and they're a lot more, nonchalant, a lot more relaxed out there now.
I'd like to use the word free.
Free.
Boys, real quick, I just want to make a mention of another promo, as I already spoke about, $180 off each of your 1-month packages. I have another huge Boxing Week special, and a week of all of my Prez bets, every sport. I got a 5% play in NFL on Sunday. I've got a 5-pack up on Sunday. I've got a lot of bowl games coming. I got 2 NHL plays tonight. To give you perspective, my 5% play on Sunday cost $40. I'm giving everyone an entire week of all my plays for only $59. Head over to wagertalk.com. Use the promo code PREZ59. Boys, there's been no hangover in St. Louis. This team is just lights out. They've won 6 in a row, and they're playing Winnipeg, who have been playing really good hockey, but not of late. They've lost 3 of their last 4, including a beatdown by the Montreal Canadiens. They're also, they're going to bounce back tonight. With that said, bouncing back against St. Louis is not an easy thing to do. I think we're going to get a good game out of Winnipeg, and I think from a bounce back perspective, we're going to see them play a lot better defensively. Andrew, I'll go to you first. I like the under in this hockey game, 5.5. I could see this being a 3-1, 3-2 game.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, but I'm going to go ahead and look at St. Louis in regulation. I wouldn't hate it to bet it in in regular full regular bet money line, but you can get some pretty good odds getting that down to regulation and turn it into plus money. And when it comes down to it, I'm just backing the better team in better form right now. Only losers of 3 of their last 10. And St. Louis does it in all different aspects. I mean, they'll do it in blowout fashion, they'll do it in close games, they'll do it in overtime. Winnipeg, that game there was very interesting, guys, because not only was it Montreal's tail end of their road trip, but it was kind of closing into their before their holiday break for them. And when I was in Vegas, I did a video shooting with the guys in the studio, and I spoke about how at tail ends of road trips, you got to look to bet over the total. And I did not expect Montreal to put up 6 goals against Winnipeg. I thought Winnipeg would honestly take that game, but it just goes to show that Winnipeg right now, they're inconsistent defensively, and their goaltending hasn't been great, subpar if anything. For St. Louis, their biggest key is they have a 1A, 1B going right now. Jake Allen has certainly stepped up, and it gives a lot more confidence for Binnington. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, if you're Binnington right now, and you have Allen to step up for you, it gives you more confidence, more relaxation time, and more time for you to get ready for later in the season when it matters, like Prez would say. So I'm going to go ahead and look at St. Louis here. They were on a huge roll closing in to the holiday break. However, guys, those games that they played weren't against outstanding teams, and this should be a pretty good matchup here. Some skilled players going up against each other. So go ahead with St. Louis. And
Alex, I'm not with Andrew on this play. I mean, I prefer the under, but if I was going to take the side, I'd take Winnipeg here. The only thing keeping me off is I don't want to step in the way of St. Louis's streak. They're at the end of a road trip, and the bottom line for me is, Winnipeg and Maurice is going to get this team firing tonight. You can't go into Montreal and let in 6 goals. So Andrew and I differ.
Yeah, I'm on Andrew with this spot. I've been on the St. Louis streak for most of these games. Cashed a 5% winner with that game against LA. It was a terrible spot for LA coming back home right before the break after a long trip, catching St. Louis. St. Louis scored 2 goals, I think, in the first 4 minutes of the game. And all 5 goals were scored in the first period. Pretty much done after 20 minutes. But this St. Louis team, you mentioned the road trip. You got to keep in mind, coming off the holiday break, they were back home in St. Louis. So this is kind of a staggered trip, if you will. Not so much, you look at the schedule, it's going to look like 3 straight road games. But that's one thing to keep in mind. But they also have been playing very well against Winnipeg. They've won 5 of the last 6 in Winnipeg, 5 of the last 7 against this team overall, and they're 10 and 4 the last 14 games on the road. No way I'm stepping in front of the St. Louis team.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what's keeping me off of Winnipeg. Alex B. Smith, Andrew McInnis, you're watching Puck Time, everybody. I just want to wish you all happy holidays. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I spent Christmas on a plane, and it was just fine by me. It was an easy plane ride back from Jamaica. It was half empty. I took an entire row and pretty much crashed hard. We will be back on Monday. Both Alex and Andrew will be joining us. We'll be running shows all week. We'll probably miss New Year's Day because, well, they're both young, and I understand. When I was 14 years old, I partied pretty damn hard on New Year's. But Andrew, I expect you to go out there on New Year's and get some full action, baby. that and Alex, I expect you to drink a lot of Coke.
Oh no, that would be a
yeah, baby. Sure. Hey, Alex, I drank 2 glasses of Coke on my trip. I thought about you the whole time.
Did you? Nice. Now wait, was it the Mexican version with the real sugar? Because I know, like, if you go overseas, sometimes that's.
I don't know, dude. What the hell? It had a fizz. That's all I know. It had a fizz, and I had to use ice to get the fizz down. Boys, Edmonton, Calgary, one of the best rivalries in the NHL, and Calgary has been playing well. Not of late, though. Under their new coach, they did put down a run, but now they've lost 4 of their last 5, including a 3-0 loss at home to Minnesota, which is frankly inexcusable. Edmonton, too, a team that started off on fire. They've lost 7 of 9 games, including at home against Vancouver, only putting up a 2 spot. I'm going straight to the over on this game, boys. I know both teams didn't score much in their last game, but I think this is going to be wide open hockey, fast hockey, and I would be very surprised if this game stays under the total. Alex?
Yeah, that's the only way I can look here would be the over. Even though the trend with this rivalry has been the under, we've seen it cash at 4 of the last 6 meetings with Calgary and Edmonton. But I think we're going to see some goals both ways here. Both teams desperately needing a win. And like I said, a bitter rivalry and coming back off. This will be the one game where I think the rest will help the offenses kind of get back in gear. So we definitely should see some goals here tonight.
Andrew, where are you at with this one, buddy?
Yeah, I agree. Good number. We're getting 5.5. I think it should be 6 at least for the over. I would take a look at Edmonton, just based off the history between these teams. Edmonton's dominated the Battle of Alberta. Yeah. And before that break started, we saw the McDavid-Draisaitl show pick up again. And like we've all been talking about, we're kind of banging our heads against the wall saying this, but the stats are unbelievable. I mean, when McDavid and Draisaitl don't get a point, this team doesn't win. And the stats back it up, for several, games, several years now. And this team is clicking now. So, you got to catch them when you're hot. It's like what Karma always says. I mean, when this team's playing well, I know they had a little couple-day break, but when they're clicking, they're clicking. When they're not, it's really, really bad. So right now it looks good for them, past couple games. So
yeah, Andrew, typical has sound problems coming from his end. It's not terrible today, but bear with him. He does live in Halifax, Canada, and just for everybody who wants perspective, that would be like living in Tella, nowhere, Iowa. I think there's a population of 33 people, 1 tower about 700 miles away for internet. And I think he has to drive about 2 hours just to get a haircut. Is that right?
Prez, I love the comedy, but the sad part is I think a lot of our viewers actually believe everything you're saying a lot of the time.
Everything I just said was true.
I tweeted out a picture. I tweeted out a really nice picture. It was like from a drone shot from like downtown Halifax, and I had a few people, including one of our loyal followers, Trent, reply back and say, geez, Prez always makes it sound like you live in the middle of nowhere. And it was a good laugh because a few people actually commented back. So, I'm always down for the jokes.
Alex,
but,
Alex.
If anybody actually saw where
Alex,
I live.
I've been...
Like, Alex probably thinks...
Alex, I've been to Halifax. You can literally go up 2 stories onto a balcony, take your phone, bend it over, take a picture, and that's downtown Halifax.
Truth be told, I was probably about 12 years old before I could find the Atlantic part of Canada on a globe. So
okay, there we go. Alex admits that he was 12 years old when he had a globe.
That's every American for you, though. Americans are in their own world. So.
That they are. A world of impeachment. Although that's going to end up being a big waste of time. Guys, Prez 59, use that promo code over at Wager Talk. The regular price for a week of all my bets is $119. I took $60 off of that package, so it's literally half price, $59 for a full week of my plays. Use the promo code Prez 59. Guys, let's get into the last minute of play. We'll race through these games at 100 miles an hour. Everybody make sure to check out the College Football Betting Show with Dave and Teddy, and also the NFL Presidential Address with Ralph Michaels are both up at Wager Talk TV. Betting Edge will be up in about an hour. That's with Marco and I. We'll run down every game on the NFL board. Boys, the Rangers plus 144 against Carolina. Over and under is 6. It's dropped from 6.5, which I can understand with the King in net, although I don't even know how he got that nickname. Rangers are playing much better here. Alex, how live a dog are they?
Incredibly live. They're 17-1 in Madison Square Garden the last 18 meetings against Carolina. 39-15 the last 44 meetings against the Hurricanes. I have no idea.
I'm with you there, brother. Andrew?
Yeah, I'm on a lot of overs today, but I feel like this is a perfect spot for an over. Rangers have been scoring at home. Carolina's starting to score and pick things up, and goaltending is lacking for both teams. I don't trust King Henrik either. So
Washington against Columbus. 6 is the total, minus 213. Washington coming off a loss against Boston. They lay the smackdown here. Minus 1.5, minus 2.5 for me. Andrew?
Yeah, I like that. I like everything Washington. Washington puck line, Washington team total. Would not mess with the total in this game over the total because I feel like you get a really flat spot out of Columbus. Washington will look like themselves right now. And
4-1, 5-1, 6-1 hockey game. Alex?
Love it.
Be very careful. Columbus tends to show up against Washington. We've been seeing it twice this month where the Blue Jackets have gotten wins over the Capitals, but the Blue Jackets are way too banged up for me to back.
Colorado.
Yeah, a lot of injuries.
Guys, I'm going back to the puck line again with this Colorado-Minnesota game. These two teams they're just... The strength of talent on the ice in this game is very lopsided. Colorado in every aspect of this game is better than Minnesota. I see, again, just like Washington, a 4-1, 5-1 type of a hockey game. I'm taking Colorado minus 1.5. Andrew?
I like Colorado. I also like the under here. Come to a shock for a lot of people probably because Minnesota has also trended to the over, just like Colorado. I think in the second half of the season, Minnesota kind of quiets down. They were overachieving for a long time. Dave Koken and I spoke about it. And Colorado wants to shut teams down defensively. We know when they get up 1 or 2 goals, they're not like a lot of teams that are great. They can shut things down defensively. They don't need to run the score up. They'll play good defensive hockey.
Andrew, Alex, what do you like in this one?
I got to go over in this one. I understand, Colorado's not a team that wants to blow out teams, but Minnesota is a team, like I said, if they aren't getting things done offensively, and they've got some issues now defensively as well. Mikko Koivu and Jason Zucker, 2 of the better defensive forwards in the league, out. They're going to give up some goals here in Colorado. We know they can put it on at any time.
Nashville against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh playing really good right now. Nashville, mediocre and a surprise at that. We got a total of 6 on the board. I'm passing in this game. Alex?
Yeah, it's a pass for me too. We'd look at the over possibly, but
Andrew?
better spots on the board than that.
Yeah, no play for me on this one, but if I were to bet, if it's a spot like this, look for the
23-9. That's the New York Islanders record. This team is outstanding. I mean, they look like they're headed to a Stanley Cup Finals against St. Louis. Oh my God, could you imagine how boring that'll be? At least I'll get a whole lot of sleep. Chicago plus 120 here. I'm just, you know what? A lot of guys disagree with me, especially people like Dave Koken and Teddy. I've always used the theory, I'll take what the bookmakers give me. I'm getting a short price on the Islanders. I'm all over them. Alex?
Yeah, you got to take the Islanders and also got to look at the over, too. They announced that Brent Seabrook and Calvin DeHaan done for the year, side out for another 3 weeks. We're just going to see a lot of goals going in. Robin Lehner going up against his old team. So that's going to also fire up this Islanders team, too. I think 5.5 is a pretty cheap number. So I like the over more than the side, but Islanders most likely get the job done here on the road.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of 5.5s still over the next little while with the New York Islanders. And, your joke about the whole Islanders-St. Louis Blues finals would be boring is true, but when it comes down to it, this team is scoring a lot more than they were last year. They're still great defensively, but they're still scoring. So we should be seeing more 6s than we actually are with them. So I would agree, 5.5. Got to go over here. We'll get a few from Chicago, but the Islanders will start things out after this break, ready to go. And I could see a 5-3 game here, 6-3. I expect.
I don't know what to expect goal-wise in this Anaheim-Vegas game. I mean, I think Vegas is going to put up 3 to 4. I don't know if Anaheim can do the same, though. I think you got a situation here where Anaheim is by and large a slow hockey team, and Vegas one of the fastest teams in the league. I like these kind of matchups, so I like Vegas in regulation in this play. Andrew?
Yeah, if I were to have a best bet for this episode of Puck Time, it would be Vegas right now. If there's a team that wouldn't mind the rest and could use it, it's this Vegas team. I mean, they've got some older guys, some vets. They're not too old of a team, but they're going to come back with that energy, a little rejuvenation. They're going to be excited to go. So they've got a lot of goal scorers. Marc-Andre Fleury will be ready to go, and I just don't know to put it past Fleury. So regulation's great, but to be honest, I would even take that juice and grab the money line. If your book doesn't offer regulation, I am comfortable laying this.
So Alex, I have a different saying. If your book doesn't offer regulation, find a new book. Alex, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. I'm going to go with the team total over 3.5. I'm seeing plus 125, plus 130 for the Golden Knights. That's awfully high when you got a Ducks team that's been giving up goals in bunches in some of their games. I don't think the rest is going to help them much. They just aren't that good defensively, and John Gibson can only stop so many shots that come his way. So I think the team total with the Knights over.
Last game on the board, boys. San Jose against the Kings. I like San Jose and I like the under. I think the Kings are going to struggle to score in this game, even against a woeful Matt Jones. I could see this game being 4-1 for San Jose. Alex?
Yeah, it's Martin.
What did
Jones,
I say?
It really doesn't matter.
Matt Jones,
Matt Jones. You said Matt Jones. It could be Mike Jones in that. It wouldn't matter. San Jose's giving up goals, but it doesn't. I'm going with the Kings here at a plus price.
Yeah, I like the Kings at a plus price as well. They're not a team I want to back against great teams. Both these teams, if you look at their last 10, 20 games, they're not looking at anything too special. They're getting scored on left and right. The question is, will they be able to score? And that kind of goes back to the theory that I was talking about early in the season with you guys. I believe it was Ottawa and Detroit were playing each other. Two crappy teams come together. Will we see some goals? And, I think maybe in this one. And we're seeing a 5.5, so I might look over the total. But again, in a game like this, where it's kind of a pick'em, the way I see it anyway, I'm not going to take a San Jose team at minus 145. No way, not at all. I'll go plus price with LA. And before we head out, my last little spiel here, I want to give out for tomorrow for all of our viewers. Russia.
Yeah.
Canada. Goals,
can you just give that out again, please?
Russia and Canada over 6.5 goals. Canada put up a lot of goals yesterday, and Russia, I believe it was around 40 to 45 shots for them. They had a loss in their first game. Their goaltending is weak. They're going to look to bounce back big time. So for everybody out there, over 6.5 in the Russia-Canada game.
Guys, it's a privilege to host this show. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for being part of our community. We're back on Monday. Hopefully, Andrew will have shaved that fuzz that is hanging below his nose. Alex, good. Shave it all, today, dude. Like, seriously, the chin, the whole works. You do that for me?
Not for you.
Okay.
But I'll do it.
Love you both. Have yourselves an incredible weekend. And remember, everybody, 1 month of either of their plays, only $169. Head over to sportsmemo.com. Use the promo code Andrew169 or Alex169. Later, boys.